Hello, everybody. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. Sorry about the weather. It was a bit grim, wasn't it? I hope you managed to get out anyway. Thank you very much for all of your lovely work from last week, which has been a real pleasure to look at. I've tried to email as many of you as I can with feedback, and I'll carry on doing that. Here's a video about our maths for Monday and for Tuesday. So we've covered perimeter, if you remember, and perimeter was all the way around the edge of a shape. Has to be a 2D shape for perimeter. And we worked out things like regular shapes, where you just add up all the sides, and irregular shapes or compound shapes, where you do exactly the same. You still add up all the sides, but you have to make sure you don't miss any of the lines that make up the edge of the shape, the vertices, if you want to be posh, in order to get the right answer. Now, area is related, and I'm sure all of you will have had lessons where you've done area and perimeter. Well, like I said, we've covered perimeter plus, because you add up, and now it's time for area, where you have to add if you have squares, or multiply times if you don't. Okay, so this is a very bizarre PowerPoint because it has pictures of Father Christmas here, but that's just to put you in a good mood for Monday maths. The area of a shape is the amount of space inside it. So if you look at this shape here, it's all of the green, all of the bit inside. The perimeter is the bit all around the edge, and the area is the bit inside. Now, it can be really easy to calculate, or it can be really hard to calculate. If you have squares, it's so easy to calculate, because as long as you know each one is 1 centimetre squared, you literally count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So the area of the shape is 18 centimetres squared. 18 of these squares. Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, if I wanted the perimeter of this shape, I'd count round the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6, so 5 add 6 is 11. Add 2 here is 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, adding this 4. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So the perimeter would be 22. So interestingly, with this shape, the perimeter is greater than the area. Perimeter of 22, area of 18. Okay. Same with this one. There are two ways of doing this. Again, you can just count all the squares, but there's a shortcut, children. Okay. If you use your times tables, you can take a really snazzy route to the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 8 across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down. So 8 across and 6 down. So what we could do is go, this is 1 row of 8, this is 2 rows of 8, which is 16, 3 rows of 8, which is 24, 4 rows of 8, which is 32, 5 rows of 8, which is 40, 6 rows of 8, which is 48. Do you see why I make you do times table rock stars so much? Learn those tables. It makes life so much easier. So a short way of calculating the area of regular rectangles and squares is by going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Yeah? So you multiply the length by the breadth to get the answer. Here we are. Length this way, width or breadth this way, times them together, and you will get the area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7. So the area of this shape is 10 across, 7 down, 70. Because the area is the length times or multiplied by the width. Now, I've left the answers in these because I think they're easy to calculate. 9 by 4 here on the blue one, 9 down, 4 across. 9 times 4 is 36. But we say they are centimetres squared because it's a whole square that it's doing. Okay, 9 fours are 36. Here, 7 across, 5 down, the answer is 35 because 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 4 for the yellow one is 20. And it even works, children, with decimals. This is 2 centimetres. This is 12.5 or 12.5 centimetres. Double 12.5 or 12.5 times 2 is 25 centimetres squared. Okay, so it is actually in some ways even easier than perimeter, and I know how well you did with perimeter. Okay, now this is either a composite shape or a compound shape. Okay, because if you ignore the line down the middle here, you've got a wonky shape. You've got a wonky square or a wonky rectangle. Now, the way to calculate the answer of the area of this entire shape is to split it into 2 regular shapes. So this line is here because, look, at the moment, it's a compound shape. It's a bit of a nightmare for finding the area because you don't have a simple regular shape where you can just do the width times the length. If I put this in here, like that, I've got one rectangle here, and I've got another rectangle here. So this rectangle is 10 by 4. 10 times 4 is 40. So this part is 40 centimetres squared. Over here, we know this is 4. The whole thing is 8. So this part must be 4 as well, because 4 here, add this 4, is the same as the 8. 4 across, 8 down, 8 4s, 4 8s are 32. So this rectangle is 40. This rectangle is 32. Put them together, and you get a rather fine answer of 72 centimetres squared. It's quite similar to perimeter, where you have to calculate all these bits first before you can add them up. Now, these are ones you can have a go at. You don't need to have a go at them now, but they are very good challenge questions for later on because they are composite or compound shapes. If you look at this first one, you're going to have to split it here. Yeah, because if you split it here, you're going to have a nice long rectangle here, which is 9 by 5. And then you're going to have a little rectangle here, which is 4 by 5. And then you're going to have to add the 2 answers together. Your answer for the whole shape will be an area of 60 something, but I'm not saying how many. Same with this one here. Looks a bit like a B for Braden. You could split it here to have a 5 by 2, or you could have a long one down here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I don't know why, but I'd split it there. So you've got a square here, which is 6 by 6, and then you've got a 2 by 5 here. So you work out the area of this part, you work out the area of this part, and you add them together. Now, if you get a shape like this, there are actually 2 ways of doing it, children. I'm going to show you the way we've just learned, which is splitting here, and working out the area of 1, 2, of 3 squares or rectangles to add together. Okay, if you draw a line here, you've got a 3 by 3. If you draw a line here, you've got a 4 by 3. And then down here, you've got an 11 by something. Okay, that is a very hard question. You're talking challenge 4, challenge 5 work. So if you can't do that yet, please don't worry. Come back to it later. But they are good challenge questions. Here is actually the answer to the first one. Okay, if you go back, it's the same shape as this. They've done the line down there, they've worked out this part, and they've worked out this part. Same for this. Split it into 2, add up the 2 areas to get the total. Now here are some really, really basic ones. If you're not feeling confident, start with these. Okay, because remember with these ones, if you want to calculate the area the easiest way, and you could do this in year 1 or year 2 as well, couldn't you? I think you'd just count up the squares inside, because the area is what is inside the shape. If you want the shortcut way, you count how many is the length? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is the width? 1, 2, 3, 4, and you times them together. You'll get the same answer. So you can calculate the areas of these 5 shapes. If you wanted a bit harder, what about these? I wouldn't be using quite the same method of multiplication for these, because look here, children, at this one. You've actually got here half a square. So you're going to have to do some counting and some adding for that. Be interesting to see what you get. It might be worth drawing that in your book to calculate the answer. Then you have some more compound ones to do. Again, remember the importance, children, of drawing these lines, separating them into 2 regular, normal shapes so you can calculate the area. Okay. And finally, here are a couple of fiendish challenge questions for you. Okay, so that really concludes the introduction to area. Okay, now, as always, you start on the challenge which is right for you. Some of you will look at these that we looked at earlier in the video and think this is easy. Just multiplying the length and the breadth, or length and the width. It's fine. And you might want to challenge yourself by going straight on to compound or composite shapes like this. Some of you might want to do some of these to become confident. You might also want to remind yourself about perimeter, because it's important you don't get them confused. Perimeter plus, adding up the ones around the edges. Area multiplying and working out what's inside the shape. Okay. Now, obviously, we'll use our live lesson on Monday to go through this as well. But remember, children, I strongly recommend pausing the video. So getting to this bit, pausing it, working out the answers, and then listening to me explain it and checking your understanding, because I know you can do it. Okay. Any questions, you know to email me. You know to ask me in our live lessons. Okay, and I know you're going to succeed with these like you always do. Okay, so